actually go to the stage. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sacred Conversations on Guys Night. Appreciate those that are joining us this evening. Apologize while we get things kicked off here. Hopefully the sound's coming well. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the channel. As always, Ray is with me. Ray, good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are we doing, guys?
Doing fantastic. And sir, tell us about yourself.
My name's Tom.
Tom, all right, just step a little bit closer to the mic there, Tom.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about how you and Ray know each other. This is our first time meeting, so I'm interested in hearing your backstory. But yeah, let's just start off a little bit. Tell us a little about your life.
So me and my wife both work at the steel mill downtown, and she operates overhead crane, and I work in like a service department, basally.
Okay.
So she works with him, and now he knows me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Give me 1 second. Oh, sorry. Like 95 degrees in here right now. Well, obviously, for those who are tuning in for the first time, you know, the conversation here is really just about an opportunity and a space for men to come on, tell their stories, talk about, you know, how they got to where they're at in life, any struggles they've come along the way. And from what I understand, you had your own battle with alcoholism. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How long have you been sober?
14 years.
Congratulations, man. That's fucking awesome.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
man. I appreciate it.
That's obviously not an easy journey, but I guess, you know, let's hear as far as where it started for you, and kind of go from there. Tell us a little bit about your life, what you've been doing, and yeah, we'll play by ear.
All right, cool. I was born in Cleveland, so I've lived in Cleveland most of my life. My parents have been separated forever, so there was always confrontational, who goes where I'm going. And a lot of the stuff I saw growing up was not good for kids to see, so it kind of made me grow up fast. And I saw a lot of alcoholism with my dad and just stuff I should have never saw as a kid, so kind of made me grow up faster. But when I turned like 21, I decided I wanted to drink too, even though I saw the problems in it. And eventually it just led to me drinking every day.
Wow.
Every night. And a lot.
Now, were you doing it socially, or was it kind of just you, myself, and I type thing?
It started out me and myself, and then it turned into me and my friends. And eventually I wouldn't even go to work. I'd just call off every day.
Oh, wow.
Just hang out with my friends and get drunk. Obviously a horrible decision.
Looking back,
Yeah.
might have been.
Looking back, yeah.
Choices
But-
were made.
Basically, it was just being with all my friends was cool. You know, everything added in was probably not the greatest idea because we did a whole lot of stuff we should not have done. So
Sure.
I'm kind of grateful that we didn't have camera phones back then because I'd be in a little bit more trouble than I am now. So
Yeah, it's funny. We had that conversation the other day. Just, you know, the amount of stuff that's out there, the amount of influence that a kid can have that's outside of your parents, outside of your family, relatives, and stuff like that. Social media really opens the door to everything and anything. You know, kids know stuff at 12 that I didn't know when I was like 25.
right, scary.
Like, what does that word mean? Oh,
right. It's crazy.
Well, you said you've been sober for 14 years.
Yeah.
Everybody has, I guess, you want to call it a come to Jesus moment, or
Right.
a scenario that kind of led to you taking that first step. So why don't we hear a little bit about that?
So I was drinking so much that it was making me sick, like physically, mentally, everything. So I ended up one day going to the doctor because like I didn't feel right from drinking. And basically the doctor did a bunch of tests on me and they came up with I would possibly have liver failure if I kept on drinking. So that day I just had to make that decision that, you know, I couldn't do it anymore because it would kill me. So that day I was done. No more drinking.
Wow. So cold turkey?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
holy
was
smokes.
that? What was that like?
Not good, I guess would be a solid description of it. You know, I just see it everywhere. It's everywhere. No matter where you are, no matter where you go, your friends. You know, a lot of them got rid of me
Yeah.
because they couldn't handle the fact that I'd go out with them to a bar and order a Sprite. Yeah, that's not cool anymore.
Well, it's
So yeah,
it's something we've talked about before regarding getting sober for whatever the reason might be. Maybe you just don't want to drink anymore for health reasons.
sure.
Or if it's realizing that you have an issue, that you make that decision to quit. And for men specifically, I think there's a social construct that kind of looks at that as like an opportunity to kind of make fun of somebody or you razz somebody, which of course, I mean, that's what men do. Like we give each other a hard time. But as another man, we don't know how to say like, hey, dude, I know you're just giving me a hard time, but I don't think you realize how bad I am. Yeah. And I just need you to support me, dude. Just rock with me, dude.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because I think if men were better at that, I think men are generally a supporting group of people where like if one of your buddies is struggling and you know it, you can kind of lean into him a little bit, but then you got to back off, or at least you're thinking to yourself like I should back off. Like this is obviously cutting deep, but good for you to actually make it through that trip. Now, have you ever used AA or anything like that in order to help your sobriety?
No.
Wow.
And for me, I think it comes a lot.
Oh, you're good.
Hey now. Hey now.
Yeah. What? It comes from my background a lot because I had to put up and deal with so much stuff growing up with my mom, moving all across the cities. And, I went to probably 6 schools growing up over my time through high school.
Wow.
So like I'm strong. Like,
yeah.
Mentally strong.
Okay.
This, no. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. The only thing I had was like all my friends were gone. Like nobody wanted to hang out with me. Nobody wanted to do anything with me. So it just became me and one of my friends who didn't drink, just hanging out all the time.
Right.
So my buddy helped me a lot with that.
That's awesome.
And that's not really like you were actually working the program, because in the program they tell you got to change everything but your name. You got to change the crowd you hang out with and stuff. So they just kind of like did it for you. Like,
right. Yeah.
So 14 years, any other aspects during that time that, I don't know, challenged that thought of not drinking? Like, was there a point in time where you're like, this might, I want to go back to it? Or
yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Even today.
Yeah.
It's always up here. Like, today sucks. I want to go home and take care of it a different way. But you got to like realize where you came from and what you've done so far, and to keep on that track.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
it's more important. I have a family, I have kids, I have a wife. That stuff is far more important than drinking and partying with my friends.
Yeah, I it's hard sometimes. We think about what's important at the time, and obviously age has a part with that too, right?
God.
As we get older, not only do we think about more than just ourselves or partying and drinking, but we start to kind of feel the impact of that lifestyle. Right. We get a little bit more.
Yeah, you're not 25 anymore, and that recovery is a lot harder.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, tell us a little about your life now. What are you doing now? You mentioned that you and your wife work for the same company.
Yeah, we do. So after I stopped drinking, probably within a couple months, me and my wife started talking online because it was kind of like a newer thing.
Which website did you use? We just had this conversation.
Well, it started on MySpace.
Whoa.
Yeah, right.
Dating yourself a little bit there.
Oh my God. I can honestly say this is the first time I've heard anybody say that it started on MySpace. So, and I grew up in the MySpace generation, so that says a lot.
Right. Yeah. So she's like, hey, we should hang out. Let's meet up. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to hang out with my friend, figure everything out, and then we can talk. But she kept saying, let's talk. So eventually she came over to our house, and she was the best thing I think I ever saw in the entire world. And like, as soon as I saw her, I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah,
this is where I'm going. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
So, over the couple weeks or whatever in the beginning, we were always meeting on the weekends and stuff, and it was good. And the same person, still here. Yeah.
Awesome. So how long you guys been together now?
I don't know. 2010 till now.
What is that 15
15?
years?
Yeah.
So just right after your sobriety then.
Right, exactly.
Dude, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
And the thing too about that is meeting her at that time kind of helped me too to stay sober because, I have somebody else important and real close to me that can probably relate really well to me. And, that's exactly what it was.
Well, actually, I have a question about that. So how far into the relationship did you get before? Did you share like, hey, just so you're aware, like I have a drinking problem, like I don't drink anymore because of it, and how did that go over?
Well, she knew that I was drinking because, I was
Beforehand, you mean?
right.
Okay.
Right. Because
MySpace.
my top 10 were drinking.
Right.
Yeah. So she knew that I was still kind of drinking a little bit here and there, but eventually just quit when I met her. Like weeks maybe before I met her, I was just done with it.
Okay.
So yeah, when we met up, she knew what she was getting into.
Right on, man.
And then too, when I met up with her, and we started hanging out, and boyfriend girlfriend kind of thing. A lot of my friends just disappeared.
Oh yeah.
The other ones I had were gone too. Because now you have a girlfriend, and now you have, you can't hang out with us. So.
That's usually how it works.
Right.
As us men get caught up in somebody, and then it's all the buddies is like, "Where'd you go, bro?"
Yeah.
So I can understand that. I've done that once or twice. Ray, when you hear this story, what is I know you and I have talked quite a few times about willpower, and I've never really had like a higher power in that sense of going to Jesus and going to AA. Was that something? Are you are you a Christ follower in that sense? I know that's one of the things that's big about AA, but is that something that you ever found yourself?
My wife's Catholic, so we go to the Catholic church every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, it didn't matter to me. I didn't really ever think about it. But now that I go more and more with her to Catholic church, and my kids go to Catholic school, I was even in the men's choir in the church recently. So
Cool.
It's sinking in a lot more.
Yeah.
About thinking about things like that.
Okay.
So for me, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a great thing to be there with people who respect you and who are happy. So for me, that's awesome. And that's something that I like to do.
Right.
Right.
Awesome. Ray, what do you think about this story so far? I know that you've talked about, going alone isn't the best way. You tried doing that for quite some time. Fortunately, you were successful too, but
right. I'm kind of like the odd man out as well that, because I get a lot of grief from my core of guys about not going to AA meetings anymore and stuff. I mean, I was very active in it. I took a break for a while, got reacclimated, really active again, and then kind of stepped away. But again, like our ministry work and the support systems that we have in place are, I'm out there actually doing the work and talking to people and helping them. So am I actually physically at a meeting? No, but I go through my steps, doing the process and that kind of thing. And I mean, I'm Christ and God are that's where my relationship is. That's my higher power that I call. I'm a big proponent of that. I definitely wasn't at the beginning of my sobriety. So, but it just, if it works and you can maintain it, great. I would just be, having those relationships or at least outreaches to, if I can't control the urge, like I'm like shaking and physically, I mean, because again, nothing can hurt us as long as we don't take that first drink physically.
Right.
It's all mental. And again, that's where that childhood trauma and that learned behavior kick in. And it can be a rough way to go. So, but I know you've also had some other experiences that, some battles that you've had to go through. I don't know how much you want to share. I mean, we'd love to, dive into that a little bit,
right,
and how you were able to maintain your sobriety, because that's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, for sure. So growing up, like I said, it was that whole parents divorced, weekends with dad, so both sides. My mom was saying, your dad's not right. There's something wrong with him. Don't go over there. And my dad saying, don't go back home. Everybody's wrong there. Nothing is right there. So I got all this input from both directions growing up. So like my head was sort of spinning already. And then when I did go to my dad's house, because he was the one that drank, my mom, they were all good. They didn't do that kind of stuff. So my dad had a girlfriend, and every once in a while they both get drunk and fight, and cops were called all the time. And my dad had a motorcycle. He'd like screech out wheelies down the street, and it was crazy.
Well,
And
that's not
like
that bad.
crashing his car through stuff, and like it was real crazy. And I was way too young to see all that kind of stuff. So for me, I was like, what do I do? Like, who? Nobody could kind of help me, because my mom, they didn't really know exactly what was happening, but they knew that something was happening. As a kid, I just didn't want to get involved with telling anybody about anything I saw. So that kind of put me in a different place as the other kids I grew up with,
Mhm.
because
Right.
they didn't have to see that kind of stuff. So they didn't really have to grow up as quick as I did. So even with seeing all that bad stuff and crazy stuff growing up, I still chose to drink.
Yeah.
I think it was just sort of embedded in me because of that situation. And, obviously it's not a problem anymore, but, I don't even understand why I did it. With seeing all that kind of stuff.
Well, you look at a lot of things that we do wrong in life. We know it's wrong, still do it. Some people, raise a strong believer in that being the devil, convincing us that it's the right thing to do. Ultimately, I think we do things because we don't think we're going to get caught.
MySpace.
Now there's just a lot more evidence when you do stuff wrong, because
Right.
apparently everybody has a video camera.
At all times.
Well, it's that, and your mind plays a trick on you, because, like, again, that's where I think it's that devil, little Lucy, popping in there that, hey, we've had a pretty crappy childhood, or, not a very desirable one. So, let's numb this pain, but we're not going to take it to that extreme. I'm not going to do all the bad stuff. I'm going to be the happy-go-lucky, good drunk that's going to feel good and not feel all that pain and trauma and stuff.
Got it, man. Exactly.
And that's, before you know it, you just fall down that rabbit hole, and
Right.
it's like,
It's a deep
how did I get here? And then,
Yeah.
So again, you got, now the doctors are telling you, hey, this is going to kill you, flat out. Your liver failure is not an easy thing to overcome.
No, I don't think you should even get to that point. But, like I said, I didn't care. Nothing to worry about.
Right.
So, did you have any consequences to your drinking stage? Like jail time, DUIs, health issues?
Yes.
Yes, all the above.
Like I said, without phone cameras, I got a lot of stuff I got away with that I prefer to not talk about.
It's
Fair
just us. Nobody's listening.
yeah, I did a lot of stuff. But no, not really. Nothing that I really got in trouble with. Not being in jail or anything crazy like that.
Good.
I got thrown in the drunk tank a couple different
Sure.
times, but
Who
You
is?
know, after all that stuff, I found my wife, and everything kind of switched directions for me.
Awesome. So tell me, tell us about your wife. How long you guys been together? For about 15 years. You guys work
Yeah.
together. What's that relationship like? Work to home.
That's kind of crazy. So she works at nights and I work at days. So
Oh, wow.
literally she gets home at like 5:30, and I have to be to work by 6.
Oh, so you guys aren't even seeing each other, maybe?
It's like hi bye.
Yeah,
I go to
legit
work.
hi bye. Yeah,
Right,
good.
exactly, 100%.
That's a good way to have a lasting marriage. It's for some people.
We got weekends, so we're still good.
Right.
Yeah, but it's fun. I worked together with her in a bookstore at Cleveland State before. She was my boss.
Ah,
I know a lot of guys don't want to say that kind of stuff. My wife is my boss,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
what it
true,
is,
even not
man.
at work. So yeah, I mean, it's good. When you find somebody that you like and love and understand, and they understand you, there's nothing. It's nothing. She's your friend.
yeah,
And that makes it cool.
yeah,
And she's cool. So that
Yeah,
helps a lot.
She's a pretty cool person. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Because she does your hair, right?
yeah, she cuts my hair.
She's responsible for that chop job you did on your beard there.
No, I did that.
That was-
I don't even think she's seen me yet. She's gonna kill me when.
I can't believe you did that.
Don't worry,
I mean, it looks a little
I'm
bit
not
better.
gonna tell.
It looks a little bit better than it did in the
It
video.
grows fast. So.
But I was
Mine-
like,
mine does.
Yeah. I was
And
like,
that's a whole nother story I can talk about if you want.
oh, let's go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was alluding
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
That
right. Let's see, 6 years ago, I'd say. So I was working crazy hours on purpose so we can have money.
Sure.
And I was getting headaches, like bad headaches that wouldn't go away. It didn't matter what I took, what I did, nothing. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm a guy like you guys. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's not a big deal. It's just headaches. It's okay.
Shake it off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's fine. Headache.
Take
right?
another leave or ibuprofen or
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure. And then eventually I was like, you know what? This is too much now. So I went to one of those like checkup things, not like a hospital, like
urgent care.
Yeah, exactly. And I told them my situation, and they basically told me, hey, just here's some Advil. Go home. If it gets worse, take some more. Yeah. So
all right. Yeah.
So I stayed there and I kind of started a scene because I demanded that somebody put me in some sort of a machine and look at my brain and let me know if there was something wrong.
Careful bouncing on the table. It echoes crazy through the yeah, hands up, hands up. I'm really bad at that. Just it's the whole that echoes through there. But go ahead. Sorry. So you're like, I'm not leaving. I'm fucked up, bro.
Yeah. Basically, that's what I said. So they, really hesitantly told me, let's, just put this guy in here to let him have what he wanted to have for that moment. So I'm in the machine, the loud machine. It sucks. Don't get an MRI unless you have to. But, I'm in there, the machine's running, the machine stops. And they say, hey, we're going to have to take a couple more pictures, okay? And immediately I was like, oh, somebody listen to me for once.
They know I'm fucked up now.
Yeah, sure. I'm like, I don't know what more I could tell you. Like, so I get out of the machine. The doctor comes back, the one that tells me, I just needed to take a couple Advil and sleep it off. She says to me point blank, you need to get to the emergency room as soon as possible. They have a bed waiting for you. I'm like, the hell of a headache.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, right. So I called my wife and I'm like, hey, this is the situation. There's something going on with my brain. They want me to go to the emergency room. And I just kind of left. That's my sort of thing when there's like a problem. I just kind of flip everything into being funny to me. It's not, but that's how I deal with it. So, even right now, everything's funny.
Right.
Because at this point, it's funny to me.
Sure.
Everyone's
You're
worried
alive.
about me. Yeah, I wake up every day and that's just a win, immediately. So, a lot of people are worried about me, but that's great. I'm glad people care about me, which is cool. But for me, it's just another thing to write off, because I've lived with all kinds of stuff. 5 years ago, I got brain cancer.
Oh shit! So this
Which
is
is- yeah.
hold on, wait. We didn't hear what was the first problem.
Everything.
Well,
My,
fair enough.
it
Everything
was
is
just
wrong.
wild. Yeah, right.
So
Getting
when they
different
did
jobs,
they
and,
did multiple CATs or
Yeah.
CTs or whatever, and
Right.
what did they come back with?
They came back with there's a tumor
Oh,
in your brain. I said, okay, that's fine. Let's take care of it. I'm free on Saturday. You guys got time or something? Yeah, 100%. And they're like, they were taken back. Like, what, what, why is this guy doing that like that? And, for me, it's, I've never really had that many issues about worrying things because, even something with brain cancer, there's nothing I could do about it besides do what I can do with it. So,
Right.
like, it was just another thing. Keep adding more stuff to the cake and I'll keep eating it because
Right.
cake's delicious.
Amen.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
So eventually they took all that stuff out. They only got 60 something % of it out, which that's fine. But for a while there, I was having seizures once in a while and that sucked.
Yeah, that's scary. Well, just because you don't know when it's gonna happen, too.
No.
I can imagine
Kind
that.
of makes it worse. It makes it scary for all my family
Yeah.
and my friends.
Well, and the people driving on the road with you.
Yeah, that only happened once. We're not. Yeah.
My nephew actually just got diagnosed with, I think it's what is it called when you have seizures?
Epilepsy.
Yeah, like juvenile epilepsy or
Yeah.
something. He had like the arm twitches. That looks really bad. arm twitches really bad and stuff, like sudden. And it's funny because over the years, you know, we laugh like, oh, he's kind of klutzy sometimes. You know, he's just a goofy teenager. He's going through that stage. But this whole time he's been battling that, you know, undiagnosed, untreated or whatever. So I've actually seen him since he got out of the hospital last week. But I was like, man, they just got back from their first vacation. Like they went on a cruise and all this stuff. And then literally the day after that, he's in a hospital sending us selfies with like all this stuff like attached to his head so they can monitor him and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's scary, you know, because that's the thing. Like,
yeah,
it could happen when no one's around.
It could happen right now.
Oh God, live on camera.
like-
that shit would go viral.
Yeah.
I will try the best to not do that. But
I mean, if you could, that's fine. It'd be great for TV, but just make sure like it only lasts a few seconds.
And
Everybody-
then you're good after
And then
that.
you're good, and then
Yeah.
you can get back to talking, and then we can laugh about it. Because otherwise, it won't be good.
yeah, right. So like one of the first seizures I had was only a couple days out of the hospital. And keep in mind, I had 36 staples in my head.
Yeah.
You could kind of see it now, but I have tried to cover it up with a giant snake. Anyways, so the first time I had that seizure, they obviously called 911. But when I was having it, thank God, my brother-in-law was there to catch me from falling down like a whole flight of stairs.
Oh wow.
Which, you know, I didn't know that happened because when it happens, you close your eyes and then you wake up somewhere else. And when I woke up, I was already in the ambulance. And apparently the medical team that came and got me dropped me down the front stairs. So I had another seizure from that.
Oh wow.
And they took me in the ambulance and I was dead for a little while. So they had to resuscitate me and everything. Mind you, I have no idea about all this until I hear about it.
Right.
So I've died before.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
Right.
just a little bit, right?
Like it's not that scary. I've already done it. Been there, done that.
Right. We'll just write that one off the list too. But it's like one of those things. Like now I have cancer. Now I have to get a trillion MRIs and blood work and pills and treatments and everything. Like it to me, it feels like I have something called Tomla. Sometimes it's really like, all right, what's gonna happen today, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But it seems like you're taking it on with a good attitude, which
Oh,
is all you can really do,
Yeah.
obviously, is
Yeah.
kind of, you know, I've had that conversation with people often, like, what are you gonna do? Like,
No.
you know, there's times you know, even my wife and I will get into an argument and I say, what are we even arguing about? Like, it's not gonna matter tomorrow.
Right.
Like none of this argument, like this argument is something dumb, like I didn't do any chores or I didn't put away the sheets the right way or something. And like you end up arguing over it and I get defensive and she's just trying to point out like I could do something better. And ultimately, like you sit there and you argue. And then of course everybody brings up like, it's just not worth it. Like, hey, it happened, moved on. Like that's my approach to it.
Right.
Because if you don't, like it just sits there and festers. Yeah. And then the lid pops off.
Yeah.
And like the demon inside of me comes screaming out at full spheres because now I'm just angry.
Yeah. Yeah. You turn
So-
on your dad voice.
Yeah. Dean, what's up, man? I see you. Hey, it's right. Stay positive, my dude. Dean's one of the fans of the show. He's on watching all these things. So he battled his own demons. He was on here he was on the first one, right? Or second? Oh no, he was on here before we started doing this.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have him on eventually. But yeah, man, all you can do is really stay positive through all this. So it sounds
Right,
like you've done
right.
a good job of doing that. And I see you smiling today. So results, they got rid of 66% of the tumor,
Right.
34% is still there.
Yeah.
What does that mean for Tom?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do they are you still I'm assuming it's the 34% is still cancerous.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
for
still are you still treating like going through treatments as far as like
No, I just kind of take some medicine to prevent the seizures that come with it.
gotcha.
Everything else that happens is nothing involving with that. Because like I've had seizures in the weirdest places, man. Like dinner one time, on a beach one time,
Oh wow.
like just random weird
Well,
stuff.
I mean, if you're not too close to the water, the beach is a good, you're in the sand where you're not really,
yeah, do they just bury you at that point?
Sure.
Like
yeah.
just cover
I
him with
have my
sand, he'll
kids
be
come
fine.
and, scoop out the sand and find me like a treasure. Dad's a treasure.
Well, actually, that's a great point. I didn't even realize you had kids. How many kids you have?
Two.
2 kids.
Yeah.
How old are they?
I don't know. They're
Old enough
every
to
second
pee on
that I
their
look-
own.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Every second I look at them, they look 10 years older.
Right.
It's weird. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can
I
just
feel
tell
like they're
it.
this big, but now they're like this big.
Yeah.
It's
You're like,
insane.
wow, you're like
They
going.
took that part of my brain out. I can't remember. I love you. I know that. You'll be all right.
What do they think about all this stuff? I mean, they've been around for it.
Right. At first, they were just confused by the whole thing. And
So they've seen you have a seizure before?
oh yeah, most of them are at home too. And,
Okay.
And honestly, by this point in time, I've had so many that I don't even really need to go to the the emergency room or anything.
Wow.
My wife just like puts me on my side, hangs out for a little bit, make sure I'm cool when I come back. Because like sometimes when you come back from this, you've peed your pants. Like you don't even know because your
Right.
body is stuck.
Yeah.
And you wake up and you're groggy and you're confused and you don't know who you are, where you are, anything. So when I wake up and I see her in my mind, I'm like, okay,
Everything's good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Man,
so,
that's a hell of a woman, dude, to be there for you. Because that can't be easy.
no, she's been there since day one for me, though. I guess I never really realized that, but after all this time together, honestly, she's the only thing that keeps me going besides my kids, because nothing else matters, and I
mean,
don't feel like nothing else should really matter to me.
Sure. That's awesome.
So no,
Thanks.
and she doesn't drink either around you, or
No, she stopped too, because she was drinking when we met, but one time she slapped the hell out of me when she was drunk. So she decided too that day was the end of that.
Oh well.
So yeah.
It's
so she's
important
good
that you
and
can
I'm good.
remember the days, and I guess what better than the day? Like,
Yeah.
the day I slapped the shit out of my husband, I thought I should probably quit drinking.
like you couldn't stop the day before, but I'll take what I
Right.
can get.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But like I said, she's always there. My kids are always there. We all have fun. We go on vacations all the time.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys
life's
are
good,
always
man.
going to Disney World, man. They're
Oh, Disney World's your
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
huh?
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I've never been to Disney World. It's not my thing. My daughter's 15. She's been a couple times with her mom, but I can't say that I'm a Disney World kind of guy. Have you guys traveled other places though? Do you guys?
Oh yeah, my wife, they went to let's see, they went on vacations like for the company they were working for at that time, and we went to St. Louis, San Antonio.
San Antonio's a cool spot.
Oh
The boardwalk and stuff like
for sure,
that.
that's cool. We went to New Jersey, we went to Vegas, and most of those were to go see punk bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'cause
Ah, you look
that's-
like a punk band fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the tattoos
that
on the
helped me.
head,
That yeah.
but something
I don't know.
screamed
I
out.
couldn't tell you. But
Something screamed out. Punk band was my thing. So.
yeah, that sort of was like also one of those things growing up that sort of helped me just, deal with it. Like listen to these bands say all this stuff, kind of relating to what I was feeling or going through.
Yeah.
That helped me. And then I'd go to, punk shows and lose my mind and do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, was that tough going to concert events and stuff like that, not drinking, or were you just in your
No,
atmosphere
no.
and you were feeling it at that
Oh
point?
yeah, always. I've been to a couple shows recently where I just lost my mind and had fun. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Good stuff.
To me, like that's a real good way for me to just let my frustrations out and have fun at the same time. So, me and my friends, a lot of them don't even drink anymore too. We hook up and go to different shows, Pennsylvania and here and there, all kinds of places. So that's fun to me too.
Yeah, and I bet your friends love it because, like, if you start to have a seizure, they can just throw you in the mosh pit. And,
Yeah, for
it'd be
sure,
all
man.
good.
I just wake up and be like, hey, why am I on a floor somewhere?
Or maybe you're being crowd surfed, actually.
Oh,
Maybe-
that would be awesome.
like, I don't know what's going on. What's going on?
I
I'm
hear
on
loud music, so this has got to be cool.
That's awesome. So, what is it that you and your wife do for a living? We started talking about it a little bit before we started the
Yeah,
podcast. But you're a mechanic, is that correct?
I could put a couple screws in the stuff. so
Cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what I used to do is obviously we make steel. And
Okay.
when it's put through everything and made itself, it comes on these long slabs. So they cut these slabs and the machines they run through put numbers on them. So I had paperwork and I had to go find them and spray paint numbers on them so they could basically reheat them and roll them into a big coil.
Gotcha.
So that was my job for a while, was to find those bars so they could run them. It was cool. That was a cool job, very dangerous, but I liked it. And when I had those seizures, and the brain surgery and all that stuff, I was out of work for about a year.
Oh wow.
So when I came back, they're like, you can't do that because you might have a seizure in the middle of the yard and we can't do that.
Makes sense.
So they made me a job where I sat at a computer and typed stuff.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, that sounds awful already.
Mhm. So, but the positive was I had my own office. I mean, it was like a jail cell. It was like 10 by 10.
You have windows?
One.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and it didn't close right. So it was as hot or cold outside in my office.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So days like today, when it's like -12 outside, you're just loving life.
Best life. So eventually they were like, we don't need your position anymore. We're going to move you to the side with these other dudes who just basically now what I do is we go around the mill, clean stuff up, paint stuff that's beat up, fix signs, just make sure everything was cool and running good and looked good.
Cool.
So that's what I do now.
Right on.
Yeah.
I've never been inside a steel mill actually. When I think about it,
It's an experience.
I
And-
imagine.
The one downtown that I work at,
What is the one you guys work at? US
Cleveland
or
it's
Cliffs.
called, it's Cliffs, Cleveland Cliffs.
Cliffs.
But when you see it, you're on the highways, you can always see everything blasting out fire and stuff like that, which is good. But if you've ever been down there, it's the biggest place ever. Like it's incomparable how crazy it is.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
Everything's like
it's in
way
3
huge.
cities. Like it meets in 3 different cities
Oh,
in
like
that
it,
one spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the building I work in and where his wife works, half of the building is in one city and the other half of the building is in another city. Like that's how big
Wow.
just the one building is.
That's insane.
It's huge.
It's great paying because the city you live in and then you work in 2 cities for the same company, you get to pay 3 city taxes. It's awesome.
Is that actually a fact?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Well, that's good. At least the city of Ohio or the state of Ohio and the cities
Oh
are
yeah.
getting those tax dollars
Yes,
so
sir.
they
I live
can
in-
do. I'm not sure what with.
Right. I was gonna say I live in Parma.
Then not
So-
fixing the roads.
Yeah.
I don't think
No,
Cleveland's
no.
ever been known for fixing roads.
So Parma's got 2 feet of snow and you can't move. But as soon as you cross Brick Park Road, it's clear.
Oh,
It's amazing. It's
so they know
beautiful.
what to do with their tax dollars.
Right.
Right. Makes
All we
sense.
do is drain giant water supplies and replace them with I don't know. It's crazy that everybody pays so much money too. It's not like $100. It's like thousands of dollars. Crazy.
Wow. So overtime?
No.
No overtime.
No.
Oh, so you guys,
Yeah, I'm the lowest like pay grade in the whole mill.
you are?
Yeah.
Are you union?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Everybody's union.
That's the
in
best
Yeah.
part, honestly.
Is it? So it's interesting. Let's have that conversation a little bit. You say union's the best part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me what makes having a union, because I have my own thoughts and opinion on it, and I'm interested to hear, coming from a union man like yourself, like,
Right. Well, a lot of people seem to have problems with our union, which, everybody's going to have a problem with our union.
why
But,
would you have a problem with these?
Yeah,
Because
go
it's
ahead.
me. It's what I do.
You're so difficult.
I know.
But a lot of guys there help me with my brain surgery and getting out of work and getting all the stuff taken care of paperwork wise. And, the company we work for has our union, but when we need something done, we have to go through their services. So it's not like I could go to the union hall and say, hey, I'm going to be out for a year just to let you guys know, just keep the paycheck coming. We're good. You can't do that. You have to go through a secondary company and go through a trial by fire to prove that you're actually sick to even be know anything about. So doing all that, a lot of those guys in the union helped me out to do the paperwork. And that just alone was beautiful.
Godsend.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
like our health and benefits guy, Joe, that dude's awesome, man. Like he knows his stuff. He knows
Right.
what form you need. He knows exactly how to get stuff done for you. So having somebody like that is union versus where you're non-union, you're dealing directly with HR. We have that buffer. I mean, our union, most of those guys and that portion of it, they're great. Like
I imagine too, because your union, the HR handles those claims a little bit more efficiently and quickly than if there wasn't a union. Just because, well,
Yeah, they're quickly is just to fire you. So that's kind of how that one works. So don't go to HR.
gotcha.
And
Yeah.
if you do, it's like jail. Don't talk. Don't say nothing. Just sit there.
Right.
Just listen. I guess I've always had the thought like a union's going to protect most likely the terrible workers is what I've always thought. But you
You're
know,
not far off.
But coming from, well, my thought was like, it's like if you have a crappy employee, then somebody that does the same job is less likely to can't get a pay raise for being exceptional at their job, because if they do, they have to give the crappy employee
Right.
a
Everybody
raise
gets
that's in that same
pay
position.
level. Right.
So I've always thought that was one thing I had an issue with. Now, in your scenario, the union's fantastic. It protected you in a scenario where you needed protected. Like a lot of
Right.
companies would have been like after a year, like, hey, sorry, did we fill the position? Like it's been a year, and they have every right to do so.
So that was kind of what happened to me to a degree. Like I got paid for like one solid year, whatever percentage it was that I was making at that time. And then I had the responsibility of telling them I'm coming back, and they have to go by my accommodations to get me in position.
Right.
So that was a big problem for them. They couldn't figure out, what
What to
job
do
for
with
me
you.
to do. And that's why they settled on lock this dude in a room and let him do paperwork.
Yeah.
So
But at least there's something there, I guess, is the benefit.
Right. Yeah,
so,
yeah, for
so
sure.
that's the other. That's the
with
scenario.
with the union again, there are few and far people there that know what they're talking about and will sit down and help you do whatever you need to do and help you take care of stuff. Everyone else, I got nothing to say about them, but there's a few people in there that will help you.
Right. And that makes sense. And like I said, I can see benefits to it. I just feel like anytime that there's a scenario where somebody's under some kind of protection, that it usually leads to, those guys are spending all their time trying to keep the guy who can't show up on time hired.
100%.
And
well, that's kind of like changed over the last couple of years, because before we didn't have time clocks. It was you just signed, wrote on your timesheet. Well, people were taking advantage of that.
I remember that was a big thing probably 20 years ago with Ford. I remember when that got released, where like guys were clocking in for each other and then like just not coming to work for like 3 days at a time during the week and getting so I didn't realize that was something that was still going on. So that was a couple of years ago. You just fill out your timesheet and then turn it in. Like,
right. Wow. Yeah. If you got to dip out a couple hours early and, you got all your stuff done and everything's planted right, guys are abusing it and doing things, but I mean, again, like we have our medical is 100% paid by the company. The union's position is you have us in a crappy environment that is literally going to kill us. Yeah. We're not paying for our own medical. So, I mean,
so you guys get complete benefits at no charge to you?
Yes.
Wow. And you still, with that, do you still, like, let's say you worked for a company that was non-union based and you had to pay for your medical benefits. Are you underpaid in order to get those benefits versus an opportunity or is it kind of, do you think it washes out? Like how did you think that comes into play?
That's a good question, because my bills for medical are over millions of dollars at this point.
Wow.
Like so much chemo and radiation and being in machines and blood draws. And, when I came out of my surgery and stuff, I couldn't communicate good, which really kind of bothered me because I never had that problem. So it's pissing me off to not be able to like say what I wanted to say, and I was stuttering. And so I had to go to therapy for that and, all kinds of stuff. It would definitely be the end of someone who didn't have those things available to them and the money to do them, because some of the prescriptions are like thousands of dollars.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So you mentioned it would be millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Are they paying? Like, is 100% covered, or are you
most of it? I mean,
really? Occasionally
I'll get a bill for something that like for instance, we were in Florida and I had a seizure and they had to take me in the ambulance to the local hospital. So I got a bill for like $400 for that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's as much as I got for that whole visit and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys have tremendous health care.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
my mom
great.
works at Metro Hospital, and my health care is better than hers.
Wow.
And she works for a hospital.
That doesn't surprise me.
No.
But
yeah,
I mean, but from what
I
it
mean,
does
it-
surprise me at how great your guys' health insurance is. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, you should come where I work over there. My car is trashed. It's covered
Just
in
from all the
graphite
crap
and
that's out
all kinds
there.
of dust, and
yeah.
everybody down
Like-
there's breathing this stuff too. So
So they have a thing like with Sergeant Clean car wash, where we get free car washes. They give us the little sticker for our windshield. The company pays for it, and we can go every single day because of the soot and the stuff, all the
that
fly
fog on
ash and the
stuff like
graphite
that.
and stuff. I mean, if you go down by the blast furnace, you can see, and I mean, the guys, so underneath the ramps, they have the picnic tables where they sit outside in the summer and stuff. And I mean, it's like glitter in the air. Like it's just the air is sparkling from the
Right.
sunshine,
Wow.
from all the graphite and all the fly. And they're just sitting there eating their sandwiches. And like,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
like
saying
just-
is you're
Yeah.
ingesting this stuff constantly.
yeah, there's nothing you could do about it either.
And
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now are masks a thing inside there?
certain areas,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you're trying to eat lunch, how are you going to?
Yeah. I mean,
There's nowhere to go.
yeah. Well, and
to
I
get
mean,
out of
at
it.
that point too, like, man, I'd be worried about it getting in my eyes.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
That's insane. All right. Well, what else we got to share? What else do you like to do? What are some hobbies that you like to do, Tom? What do you get into when the kids and the wife are away? What does Tom do to play?
I do a lot of art, and I've been a skateboarder forever.
Sweet.
So I got a lot of screws in my body.
So you
two
like
in
have
my-
fun, like hobbies,
Right,
connecting
yeah.
magnets to
Yeah,
yourselves.
I'm like a Lego. I'm like a bad Lego block. But yeah, I got a couple in my knee, a couple in my ankle, a couple in my leg. And it doesn't bother me because I had fun getting that stuff.
Right.
Today I could probably skate around a little bit, but for me it's like doing art. I do a lot of spray paint, stencil stuff. I just have fun. I probably end up making a ton of art and asking anybody if they want it, and nobody says anything about it. So I usually just take it, put it in the fire pit, and light it up.
Oh, okay.
I don't care. I
Right.
just like to have fun with it. So
Yeah,
if nobody
right.
wants to have fun with me, too bad.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about selling it? Like, what kind of art do you do?
I-
Drawing, painting?
Kind of more just painting. I do a lot of stencil stuff.
Yeah.
I was doing them on skateboards, like broken skateboards. I
Oh, that's cool.
sand all the stuff off, put my stencils on there, and then I'd just take like a blowtorch and kind of burn around them and make it look kind of distressed.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then
If I
kinda
would have known
stopped.
that, I would have asked him to bring something in for us to display on
yeah,
our.
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I love.
yeah,
to see-
maybe I'll make you something.
Yeah, that'd be super awesome.
I can paint and watercolor and stuff like that too. Just whatever I'm feeling.
Well, I'm sure that gives you kind of just like a calming,
Oh yeah,
like to escape
100%.
from everything and
Right.
kind of just be on your own and do your thing.
That's been working out for me a lot lately. Is just being able to focus on like one thing that I want to do.
Right.
So for me, it's been building Lego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm sure your wife likes it because then she's got something to get you for Christmas every year for your birthdays. Like it's pretty. Yeah, like she's got like
Pretty
an ongoing
expensive
list.
is what it is.
I mean, all men's cool
Hey, she
hobbies
makes
are
good money.
expensive.
She's allowed overtime if she wanted to, I think.
I'll tell her.
Yeah.
I'll tell her you said that. So
Yeah.
that's-
So she's allowed to spoil the husband. I like that.
Right.
Yeah. And now, especially if Trump gets rid of taxes on overtime, like she'll have that much more money to spend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
announced
cool.
that either yesterday or today that I seen a big post about it that he is definitely doing. And I'll tell you what, man, like the way we get paid is because we have our hourly rate and then we have our production bonus. So each area, our production bonus, if it's 50%, so let's say we make $30 an hour. So we get, for every hour we work for that week, we would get an additional $15 an hour, 50% of our pay. So now we're making $45 an hour. And you put that on like holidays when we work, we get double time and a half. I mean, you're talking big. Our overtime is huge at the mill, especially on holidays and Sunday premium days
I'm
are
sure.
automatic and over 8 hours. It depends on your schedule because we have 8-hour crews, 10-hour crews, 12-hour crews. So like if you're an 8-hour crew, anything after 8 is overtime. So even if you called off Friday, if you still stayed over 4 hours, 2 days, Monday through Thursday, you still have those 8 hours of overtime.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, there's guys like we actually, it was right before COVID or whatever. We kind of were having a hard time. The economy wasn't doing real well. And so they cut a bunch of overtime and stuff. We had a guy that the mobile equipment is where I was at the time. He actually retired because he was losing money coming in and working 40 hours a week. I mean, this guy's working probably 90 to 100 hours. I mean, 7, 16s, 6, 16 every single week.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
He's got like 8 or 9 classic cars all cherried out. Like, I mean, that was his hobby. That's what he did.
Yeah.
I don't know when, because he was always, but it's great. If you want to live at the mill, you're going to, I work some overtime or whatever. I mean, I made $100K like without killing myself.
Right.
So, I mean, we make good money. It's
Sure.
just, again, the presidential, the economy, everything, especially when nobody's buying cars, nobody's buying appliances.
Yeah, it makes a big difference in the steel market.
Luckily, we have that account. They saved us, because when the auto industry went down, when that computer chip factory burned down, we were dead in the water, like close to layoffs and stuff. Like, it was rough.
Yeah.
But so we're just now getting back where they're starting to sprinkle in overtime here and there for us. So I work in finishing where his wife works. She's an overhead crane operator and I'm a shipper. So it's like, again, people call off, you can stay over the 8 or whatever, or, like you work crazy schedules, 4 on, 4 off. So on your 4 days off, you might get called every single day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, that's all overtime. So if he actually puts that through,
yeah,
that's going to be awesome.
It doesn't look like he has as of right now, but
no, I'm not allowed to have overtime.
Yeah, that's not fair.
I could have came in last night at like 4 a.m. if I wanted.
Because you're a white male. I was just go to him and be like, "Is it because I'm a white male?"
I got nothing to say about any of that kind of stuff.
Tattoos, earrings, like you name it. I got all the
this is what I'm got.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. All right, guys. Well, hey, we're coming up on an hour. Appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with us, telling us your story.
Yeah, for sure.
Congratulations on 14 years of sobriety. That's incredible. Congratulations on a successful 14 years with your wife and 2 awesome kids. And even more so, I don't know if they can hear that, but my dogs are going ham. Wife must be home. But even more so, congratulations on your fight. Obviously, that's still going on, and that's going to probably continue to go on. But you seem like you've got great spirits on it.
Oh yeah.
And if anything, more surgeries just means more cool tattoos. You've got quite a few over there.
Got a couple.
Any of them your favorite?
No.
I
get one and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I get a next one like, that one sucked. This one's cool. So it's a never ending thing. So be careful with tattoos, guys. He probably knows.
Yes, I'm familiar with.
Yeah. It's addictive.
One big one. That's all I got. One big
my answer too, man.
I mean, you could always do the MGK thing where you just cover your whole body in black ink.
Yeah,
that looks stupid.
It's a waste of money on that one.
Well, when you're MGK, I guess you can just waste money like that.
Yeah.
Not for me.
No.
I don't know. I mean, you diss Eminem and then get put in your place. I guess you were trying to get a new identity.
Yeah. So if you ever need a fat, bald dude to talk to, I'm always available.
Perfect. Awesome, guys. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Anybody, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. As always, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Anytime that you want to be a guest on Sacred Conversations, you can see the conversation can go anywhere. We'd love to have you. And with that, I wish you all good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Above, fighting demons, don't give up. Holy war in the dead dark night, sacred battle.